What is up, everyone? My name is Chris, and welcome back to ManicManiac Recaps and Predictions, I guess. It could be a recap of last week, although last week was stupid. Welcome back to the 2015 NFL predictions from me. So, last week was a complete, essentially, if you want to do a little bit of a simile or metaphor, there you go, that's where take what happened in week 10. It's almost like you were out partying and you got super drunk, but you had a great time. Week 11 was the major hangover that you absolutely hate. It was just annoying. I wouldn't say that last week was an annoying week, but it was not that great of a week in terms of games. I will say this, my favorite game of the week, the Cardinals-Bengals game in prime time. That was a perfect game to flex. Good job by the NFL there to flex that game, because it was awesome to watch, very fun, very competitive. Everything else was pretty much like a slugfest. Some good games here and there, but nothing spectacular either. Colts and Falcons, I guess you could say, was a close game. Well, I mean, yes, it was, but it wasn't really an exciting game to watch. So last week was okay compared to week 10 and how great that was. But I think this week will top week 10. Maybe not, but it'll get close, I feel, because there's a lot of big games. A lot of these games that are coming up here in week 12 will really drastically change the way we see the playoffs. Maybe not like in a huge way, maybe not like a bunch of changes, but going forward, these games will be looked back on and be like, wow, this is where the season changed for this team, or so on. This is the first week that we have all 32 teams playing. All 32 teams are playing this week. This will not be the first week where we have a bunch of teams on Sunday, though, because of everything that will be happening today on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. I completely forgot when I'm uploading this. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. Hope you guys enjoy your day. I'm uploading this early, so if you are watching once it's uploaded, I hope you guys enjoy the parade. Hope you guys enjoy football, and I hope that you guys enjoy your family meal, of course. Make sure to be thankful for everything they have in life, because there's a lot of people out there that are not as lucky as you are. So, anyways, without any further ado, let's look back at week 11. Let's see how I did with my predictions. I am taking the Jaguars. I am taking the Raiders. I say Falcons win their matchup. I'm going to go with the Texans against the Jets. I'm going to see the Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm picking the Miami Dolphins. The Panthers will win this game and go 10-0. The Kansas City Chiefs will win this game. The Seahawks will win this game, but I'm going to pick the Vikings. The Cardinals will win this game. I'm going with the Patriots. Yay, winning record! It took a while, but we're finally getting a winning record back in terms of records. A few crazy weeks really screwed us over big time in terms of predictions, but nonetheless, 8-6 this week. Kinda was hoping for 7-7, but those Bills can't win. But I'm happy with my predictions. I felt confident with a lot of them, so it was good coming into this week and being able to come out with it with getting most of them right. Still by a small margin, but it's still good enough. I'm happy about it. But nonetheless, what can we say? It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. Some playoff clinching scenarios to talk about going into week 12, by the way. The Patriots have a chance to clinch not only a playoff berth, but the division as a whole for the AFC East, which is kind of unfortunate. Personally, I really wanted to see some major battles for the title, even if it still ended up with the Patriots, because I mean they've had this division lead for so long. There's only been a few times over the Belichick-Brady era that someone else had the divisional crown, and that I think actually it was only one time, and that was in 2008, I believe, 2008 or 2009. Dolphins took it, and that's because Brady got injured in the season opener and could not play throughout the whole season. So There you go. Happens. So yeah, I'm very excited about this week though. Panthers and Patriots. And of course the Panthers can. I don't think they can clinch the division this week, but they can clinch some sort of playoff berth as well. So the first scenarios are coming out for this week, and that was kind of expected, of course, because of the undefeatedness of them all. All right. Anyways, enough talking about that. Let's get into the matchups, starting with today's games for Thanksgiving. The Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Detroit Lions. Now, this game is a big deal because it's two teams that want to try to stay in the mix. They both want to try to get at least a wild card spot. I don't know so much about the Eagles, but definitely the Lions at this point. The Eagles, on the other hand, are just trying to keep up with the divisional race, essentially, and pretty much everyone is. But if the Cowboys win today and the Eagles lose, they're right there with the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, I think they're 1-1 with the division series, so I don't know who will be on top of the other, but who knows? It's a crucial win for these Eagles, who are falling apart. And as for the Lions, they're getting better. They're actually getting better. I mean, they beat the Packers, so that was a big deal. And then they went on to beat the Raiders, who have been good, but they're struggling now too. I think that what's going to end up happening is that we're going to see on the worldwide or nationwide is on your side. Sorry, nationwide screen as these guys play at noon today. That how much of a mess this Eagles team is, and I'm going to go with the Lions. And that's really just because of how it's basically how one team is trending down and the other is trending up right now. I'm going to say the Lions will be able to use what they used against the Packers and the Raiders and easily take down the Eagles. But who knows? More crazier things have happened in the NFL. Trust me, no one expected them to beat the Packers, so who knows what's going to happen. All right. Anyways, on to this next matchup, which I cannot believe the amount of people that are choosing the Cowboys to win this game and how they're the favorites. Look, last week I said that I'd pick the Cowboys if they won by a large margin. They won by 10 points. I guess you can call that large, but I still felt like they had to compete like big time to get to that lead. It wasn't like a blowout to me. I felt like the Dolphins were kind of in it for a little while. I don't know. I don't have the faith in the Cowboys as much as I would have, as much as I have in the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers have been playing so well all around. Just look at this past Sunday. Cam Newton threw for 5 touchdowns. Threw or ran it. I didn't watch the entire game, so regardless of what it is, 5 touchdowns. The defense was suffocating after a while for the Redskins. A bunch of fumbles from the Redskins. And it's just, I don't see how all of a sudden Tony Romo's going to just be able to turn it on and beat these Panthers. Now, again, he has a good record against undefeated teams, apparently. According to, I don't know, ESPN or something. I read it somewhere. I don't think that the Cowboys can do it. Well, I'd probably be wrong. I very well could, but the Panthers stay strong. They have kicked ass on defense, kicked ass on offense. I just don't see these Panthers slowing down anytime soon. Panthers win this, and I think they're going to win it big. All right, Bears, Packers. This is actually quite an interesting matchup. For prime time. Obviously, this is a huge rivalry. I think one of the longest standing rivalries overall. I like it. I like the Bears-Packers rivalry. But this is interesting because of the fact that the Bears are kind of in it right now. I mean, yes, they've just lost to the Broncos, but they've been doing pretty okay. They haven't really been they haven't been the team that everyone expected them to be. No one expected this team to be where they are. Everyone thought they they're going to be like 2-14 by the end of the year, and they already have passed that. I think there's a lot of hope for this Bears team, believe it or not, and I'm not gonna pick them over the Packers though. just a little spoiler ahead of time. But it's interesting that these Bears are kind of competing, and now you look over at the Packers that they've been struggling the past few weeks. They just beat the red hot Vikings, and that probably just changed their momentum for the season. They're probably gonna kick the Bears' butts now, but it is a big deal how these Packers have all of a sudden how they were struggling for a little while on a 3-game skid. That was just horrible for them. I'm going to pick the Packers, but this is an interesting primetime matchup to see. We'll see if the Bears could take down the Packers, and that would be a big deal because it's been one-sided for quite some time. All right, Saints, Texans, first of our Sunday matchups. So you got the Texans, who are doing okay right now. They beat the Bengals a few weeks ago, gave them their first loss of the season, and then they went on and made the Jets look like just complete garbage. And their defense is finally getting it together. They're finally just really suffocating offenses, and the fact that both games were won by TJ Yates, and then now Brian Hoyer's coming in. I mean, I don't know why they just won't start TJ Yates. To be honest, I mean, he's won you 2 games, and but hey, if you have trusted Brian Hoyer, you put trust in Hoyer, then I guess. But you know what? Yeah, they've just been playing pretty well. Not much of a run game still, but they've got, obviously they have DeAndre Hopkins, who is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL for sure. So he's gonna help carry this team against the Saints, who have a terrible secondary, by the way. The key for the Saints here is that Drew Brees and Mark Ingram have to have a huge day. They're gonna have to run the ball a lot and get past J.J. Watt and the entire front 7. And Drew Brees is gonna have to throw a lot as well. They are gonna have to do so well on offense to make up for their actually really mediocre defense. I'm taking the Texans, but I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? I'm taking the Texans though. Right, Rams, Bengals. Rams are in a bit of a skid. I don't know how long it's been since they've won a game. It feels like ages ago. Last time, this past week, they lost to the Ravens. Really just disgusting fashion. I don't know what the sideline judges were doing when they didn't call a timeout for Case Keenum. I don't really want to get into it, but I will say that something needs to change there, big time. But regardless, let's talk about the game itself. The Rams just have not been delivering for some time, and they've just been constantly losing games, and it's, I don't know, to me it's shocking. They seemed hot, but I mean, actually no, maybe it's not really as shocking as I may think, because let's be honest, this is a team that shocks us sometimes, playing some great football, and then it's like, they're alright. They're okay. Their last win, by the way, was Week 8, the beginning of November, against their 49ers. That was their last win. Since then, they lost to the Vikings. They lost to who was Week 10? Yeah, I'm looking. Don't worry. It got slow for a second. Oh, yeah, they lost to the Bears. Duh. And then they lost to the Ravens. They're on a skid. They were in a bad skid. So I don't really know what's going to happen. They're all over the place. Bengals, on the other hand, also on a skid, but they've lost to 2 teams that are kind of doing okay right now. The Texans, like I said, I mean, they were a crappy team, but they've gotten better the past few weeks. And of course the Cardinals, the Cardinals are just insane how good they are. the Bengals, I feel, are going to use this week to come back and get back into the playoff talk, or into the bye week talk, because I think they're going to make the playoffs. But we'll see. Hopefully they can hold off the Steelers, because I think the Steelers are going to be hot down the stretch. So I go with Bengals for this one. Alright, Vikings, Falcons. We have a lot to go through, so I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. Vikings and Falcons, two teams that are currently holding the wildcard spots in the NFC. The Falcons, this is kind of like what we were talking about when we talked about the Eagles and Lions. One team, well, actually, never mind. The Vikings are coming off of their first loss in a while, and the Falcons, well, they've been losing constantly since they first lost against the Saints. So maybe no, they're both kind of on their low points, but I feel like the Vikings are that kind of team where they can pick themselves up, brush themselves off, and really kick ass for the last half of the season. So I am going to go with the Vikings. Falcons, hopefully they can get their act together. I don't know what happened to that team, but let's remember that Dan Quinn is this is the first time he's been a head coach in the NFL. So though he had a great start, you can't expect every game to be perfect for him. So hopefully he could get this team back together. Giants, Redskins, rematch from earlier in the year. Giants won that one. Yes, they did win that one. Now they have to go to FedEx Field. I think that's the Redskins home stadium, and they faced the Washington team. And the Washington Redskins, they've had weeks where they've been on point. There's weeks that they have not been. They've been a very inconsistent team for the most part. If we're going to go back and forth the way they are, they're going to have a great game against the Giants. But I'm going to look at it like this. The Giants, coming off a bye week, but before that, they played the Patriots. And thus far, they've been the toughest opponent that the Patriots have faced. You could say it was the Bills, but if you were to just go by score, we held them to only a 3-point lead on us. That's big. We had a really good day. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold them back. We couldn't finish the game. That's what's going to end up screwing over the Giants at some point. But right now, I'm going to say the Giants are going to win this. And hopefully, they can keep this lead in their division. The Redskins, though, like I said, they're inconsistent, but they've been going back and forth between having great weeks and sucky-ass weeks. Last week they had a suck-ass week. This week, who knows? They could have a glory of a game. Alright, Buccaneers and Colts. This is the game I want to talk about right here. So you look at the Buccaneers, and I said on Twitter that I'm guaranteeing it, the Buccaneers are going to the playoffs. Not to the Super Bowl, but to the playoffs. They're going to be a wild card team. Obviously, they're not going to be able to keep up with the Panthers. But if you look down the stretch, their games they're winnable. They are absolutely winnable for this team. They have been kicking butt. If you saw them against the Eagles, I think, yes, the Eagles have been falling apart, but that Eagles defense was considered one of the best in the league. And the Buccaneers made them look like rubbish. The Buccaneers. This is a team that just sucked on offense last year. This year, with Jameis Winston being there and Doug Martin finally having his comeback, this is so huge. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be missing this team. They are definitely a playoff dark horse right now. I'm rooting for them. And I have like 3 other teams that I'd root for when going into the playoffs, but these guys I want to root for. These guys are coming off of being the worst team in the league last year to potentially having a playoff run. What? You don't see that very often. And believe it or not, the team that they're facing right here, the Colts, had a very similar thing happen to them, where they were the number 1 pick in 2011 and then ended up going to the playoffs. Just an interesting tidbit, but they didn't end up winning any games. That was when they picked Andrew Luck, who's not playing in this game. Looking at these Colts, look, Matt Hasselbeck is 3-0. Good for him. But they have not faced this Buccaneers team. a team like the Buccaneers. They faced the Titans, which they're mediocre. They faced the Texans, which at the time they were mediocre. And they just faced the Falcons, who have just fallen into mediocreness. Now you face the Buccaneers. This team has a lot of great weapons on offense and has a lot of stars on defense. I'm telling you right now, these Buccaneers are looking good. They're winning this game and they're going to the playoffs, damn it. I'm telling you right now, I have so much confidence in them, it's ridiculous. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're looking good. Bills, Chiefs. The Bills, I don't know. I told myself essentially that if they didn't win this past Monday, I was, depending on how badly they lost, I was gonna, that would help me decide whether or not they would win against the Chiefs. Now, though they competed, though they fought hard, the defense was like fantastic on Monday. They really beat themselves up, and I went off on Twitter. I was pissed about how this team was pushing themselves to overcome the injuries, like just suddenly and try to complete the game. I just felt at some point it just was not worth it. The Patriots had their number after a while, and Tyrod Taylor holding his shoulder constantly. Mario Williams was off the field. I think Marcel Darius was off the field. I think he came back. And Sammy Watkins was beat up a little bit. Charles Clay was beat up a little bit. And I think they all ended up going on the field at one point, except for Mario Williams. I looked at that. I was just like, you guys are risking way too much to beat these Patriots. It doesn't matter if you lose this game, you're 5-5. It's not great, but it's at least average. And considering how this wild card race is in the AFC, it's not anything amazing. These are teams that are the wild card spot may actually be an 8-8 team because of how tightly contested that 6th wild card spot is and how mediocre all the other teams have been. It's not the end of the world to lose that game to the Patriots. Division hopes, yeah, it's out the window, but the wild card, you could have just taken the loss, not risked anything, but you did anyway. Now, did it work out for them? Obviously not in terms of winning, but apparently Tyrod Taylor is okay to play. Mario Williams is iffy, but he didn't go out and play after he was injured. I don't know really to say in terms of like if things are going to be able to work out, but they gotta be careful. They just gotta be careful on injuries. The Chiefs, they're red hot right now. I'm going with the Chiefs. The Bills' defense was amazing. The offense had the moments, but they just couldn't get it together on Monday. I'm going with the Chiefs, but I'm really pulling for the Bills because I'm part-time Bills fan. All right, I'm rooting for the Bills, but I'm taking the Chiefs because I just feel like the Chiefs are just a much more put-together team right now, which is insane to say considering at one point they were 1-5. All right, Raiders, Titans, so many. Yeah, since the Saints game, this has all been 1 o'clock. This is a lot of games. Either that, or I'm talking too long, probably both. All right, anyways, Raiders and Titans. Both teams sluggish, just sluggish playing this lately. The Raiders were considered to be a wild card team, and then they've been on the slump. The Titans have been kind of out of the wild card conversation for a while, but division conversation, not really, because considering the division they play in. Look, there's a lot to. The Titans team it has a lot of high points about it, but I think they definitely need a year. They need a year to get themselves together, draft more weapons on both sides of the ball, and I think this team can get it together for sure. And again, the Raiders, they've been sluggish for a while, but they are still a much more complete team than the Titans. So I'm going with the Raiders. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully they can get out of that slump and skyrise. Alright, Chargers, Jaguars. Last year, with the way that the Chargers beat the Jaguars, you really would not have expected a year later for the Jaguars to beat the Chargers, but I think it's gonna happen. I think the Jaguars have a shot here. The Chargers are a mess, absolute mess. The only good player on that team right now is Phillip Rivers, and he's made some mistakes too. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. They coming out from a great Thursday night win. They had a good break. They're going to crush these Chargers. I'll tell you that. All right, Dolphins and Jets. You look at the Jets, and they've been in a sluggish fest for a while, and they haven't played the way they played earlier in the season. That a lot of it can be attributed to injuries, but some of it's just poor play as well. Something needs to happen. Something needs to click. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend. The Dolphins, they've been okay, on and off. Who knows what's going to happen there. I'm going to go with... this is a tough one. Because I picked the Dolphins, but there's a part of me that really wants to pick the Jets. I'm a part-time Jets fan as well, but I don't know. This is a tough one. Because this is going to be a close game, I feel. I just feel like the way that the Texans handled the Jets was sad. It was kind of sad to watch for the Jets, and they need to get their act together somehow. Darrelle Reeve is potentially out. But then, this is tough. This is a really tough one. Alright, I'm switching. I'm going to go with the Jets. I originally said Dolphins because I just felt like they are much more... The Dolphins are much more complete in terms of not having too many injuries and stuff. But if you really think about it, the Dolphins really haven't... The wins that they've had thus far have not been against amazing... They've been against, crappy teams, pretty much. They manhandled the Texans, but that was before, that was a few weeks back. I think now the Texans team is a much more different team, much more competing team. I don't know. I'm changing it to the Jets because I feel like this is the game they need to win. The Jets need to win this in order to stay in the wildcard conversation, because otherwise they're pretty much done. They'll be kicked to the curb and done. So that's that. All right, Cardinals, 49ers. I don't even know if I want to go into the explanation about this. God, Colin Kaepernick out for the season. Probably out for the 49ers forever. He's probably going to be sent somewhere else. I don't know where. The team kind of competed with the Seahawks, but they couldn't get it together. Cardinals, much better team. Kick-ass team. Cardinals win it. No way. Steelers, Seahawks. Now, a lot of people predicting the Seahawks, but let's remember how the Seahawks team is not an amazing team. They're not great. They're not great what they used to be. And I think there's a lot of issues there for them, and there's a lot of things that they still need to work out. The Steelers team is absolutely amazing on offense. The defense has stepped up for the most part. The secondary still has some questions, but they've been able to kick butt. I'm going with Steelers on this one. Even though it's a home game for the Seahawks, I don't think the Steelers will bow down to that. All right, Sunday Night Football. This was supposed to be a great matchup, and then Peyton Manning got injured, and now Brock Osweiler is starting. A lot of people are actually saying that they would pick the Broncos in this situation. I kind of understand why. The Patriots have been slow the past few games. The Giants and Bills have slowed them down big time. But it's Brock Osweiler. This is a guy that's going to be starting his second game. I just don't know if he's gonna be able to face this beast that is the Patriots. The Patriots have one thing going for them big time. With all the injuries on offense, they have a great, strong defense. They may get Jamie Collins back, who knows? But that defense, even without Jamie Collins, has been suffocating and insane. So I don't really know how the Broncos are going to pull out a win here. I just don't think so. The Patriots are going to win in Sunday Night Football. Also go 11-0 with the Panthers. Both teams could be on the verge of a 16-0 season, which would be wild. How's this for a primetime matchup? Ravens and Browns. Wow. You know, it would be interesting if at least one of these teams was kind of in the conversation for anything. Wow. It's just the Ravens have just had a miserable season with all the injuries just screwing them up for sure. The team's a mess. I don't think they can win a single game for the rest of the season. And then you look at the Browns, who just, I don't know, they're the Browns. You know, but one thing they have going for them is that Josh McCown has looked okay for them at quarterback, and I don't know, I think they're just now, I would have said the complete opposite like a few months back. If Steve Smith, Justin Forsett, and Joe Flacco were still there, I would pick the Ravens in this scenario, but the Browns, not really, they're not too injured. They're getting their players back for the most part. Josh McCown, he's been playing pretty okay. I'm taking the Browns in this scenario. They've been looking good. They've been looking okay. They're not the best, but they've been okay. So, I'm taking the Browns, for sure. And that is the end. Wow, that's 31 minutes. That is actually not even close to my past few weeks. I think just there's a lot to cover, a lot to analyze. I know that was not how to pronounce that word. Who cares, though, you know? But yeah, I'm very, very excited for this week. I think this will be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow's matchups. A lot of them really big games. I think a lot of these games are huge for, I think, every team. If you're playing this week, which is every team, you need to win. You need to win. This is a big week to win games, for sure. This is not week 1. This is week 12. Time to get your head in the game. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.